There's something in your home right now, not something loud, not something obvious, but something silent that's been quietly holding you back. Maybe it's in your hallway. Maybe it's resting on a shelf you stopped noticing years ago. Or maybe it's sitting by your front door, blending in like it belongs. And yet, every time you pass it, your energy drops just a little. Your thoughts slow, your motivation slips, your peace becomes just a little harder to find. You wouldn't call it bad luck, you wouldn't call it sabotage, but something about your space doesn't feel fully yours, and it hasn't for a long time. You didn't choose this consciously, none of us do. But the truth is, while you've been busy working, pushing forward, healing, or surviving, your environment may have stayed stuck. And that stillness, it starts to shape you. You decorate with the best intentions. You hang up a photo because it was a gift. You keep a plant alive even when it no longer blooms. You hold on to objects that meant something once, even if that meaning no longer serves the life you're trying to build. These choices seem harmless. But in Feng Shui and in life, nothing is neutral. Everything speaks. Every object has energy, and the things you choose to keep are either helping you rise or quietly pulling you back. That's what we're exploring today, because the real question isn't just what your home looks like, it's what your home is saying when you're not listening. That's why today's video matters, because behind every stuck feeling, every strange bout of anxiety, every fight that seems to repeat itself, or dream that never quite lifts off, there may be an energetic thread connecting it all back to your space. And when we follow that thread carefully, respectfully, and intentionally, we begin to see that some of the most beautiful items around us are actually the most disruptive. That some of the most normal things we've accepted, like broken clocks, dried plants, cracked mirrors, old symbols, are actually blocking the very energy we're hoping to call in. This isn't superstition, it's energetic alignment. And just like a blocked artery in the body, when the energy at the entrance of your life is stuck, everything downstream struggles to flow. So here's what we'll do. Together, we'll walk through the 7 most common objects that quietly drain the energy of your home, and more importantly, your well-being. And with each one, we'll not only explain why it matters, but also how to shift it gently, respectfully, and powerfully. Because Feng Shui is never about fear, it's about awareness. It's about learning to speak the language of your space before it starts shouting back in stress, confusion, or loss. And that's exactly what we're committed to here at New Day Mindfulness. This channel was created with one mission: to help you reawaken the silent dialogue between your space and your soul, to help you reconnect with the parts of your home that feel off, and guide you in turning them into places of peace, momentum, and support. We don't do drama. We don't do superstition. We don't fix you. We simply help you listen more deeply to what's already whispering and show you how to respond with grace and intention. So if something in your life has felt heavy lately, if your mornings begin with hesitation instead of clarity, if your nights end with tension instead of rest, or if you simply feel like something's been off but you can't quite name it, then stay with me. Because this might be the piece you've been missing. Not a new habit, not a big leap, but a quiet release. A letting go of what no longer belongs in your energy field. So your home, at last, can become a sanctuary again. And you can finally exhale. Before we dive in, I just ask for one thing. If this speaks to you, even just a little, please consider helping this message reach others. A simple like, a share, or a quick subscribe helps this channel grow so we can continue sharing these insights and reach our first 5,000 followers. This is more than a goal. It's the foundation for a community, a space for people just like you who want to live with more clarity, more calm, and more conscious choice. Let's begin. Let's look not just at what's in your home, but what's no longer meant to stay. Section 1. Haunted art and unblessed symbols. There are some homes you step into where everything looks perfect on the surface. Stylish furniture, curated decor, the scent of something calm like lavender or sandalwood hanging in the air. But even in these perfectly arranged spaces, something feels off. It's not loud, it's not visible, but it lingers. A subtle unease, a pressure in your chest, a pull in the gut. And most people can't name it, so they ignore it. They blame the weather, a bad day, or tell themselves they're overthinking. But the truth is, sometimes it's not your mood, it's your walls. It's what's watching you back. Because in Feng Shui, we say this with gentle conviction. Some walls don't whisper, they scream quietly. Let's begin right there with the items that don't just decorate your home, but communicate on your behalf. If you've ever walked into a room and felt like something was watching you, even when you were alone, trust that. Because the energetic signature of art and symbols doesn't need words to express emotion. It just needs presence. And in too many homes, that presence is misplaced. That's why this section matters more than it might seem. Let me explain. Art isn't neutral. Neither are symbols. Every image you hang, every frame you place, every sculpture you accept into your space, they all carry memory, intention, and energy. Some uplift, some protect, some inspire you to keep moving, even on days you feel stuck. But others hold frequencies that don't match your current path because they weren't chosen with clarity. They were inherited, gifted, bought on sale, or left over from a version of yourself that no longer fits. And here's the truth most people miss. Energy doesn't ask for permission to stay. It settles. Let's talk about the most common culprit. Images with emotional distortion. You've likely seen them. A painting of a crying child, a sculpture of a twisted figure, abstract art that feels like it's falling apart or bleeding into itself. Or the most common one, eyes, not kind, gentle eyes, but the kind that seem to follow you from one side of the room to another. These pieces, especially when placed near doorways, dining rooms, or bedrooms, don't just shift the vibe, they fracture it, because they introduce unresolved emotion into spaces that are meant for peace, connection, and healing. And when you eat, sleep, or work under that kind of vibration, your body has to work harder to regulate itself. And often it loses. Now, someone might say, but it's just a painting. And I would gently ask, then why does it feel like more? Because we know deep down that homes speak, and their voice is clearest in what they hold on to. If the first thing your guests see when entering is grief, chaos, or fear, even in art, they absorb that message before your words ever greet them. And worse, so do you, every day. Let me tell you a short but powerful story. A client I once worked with, an otherwise joyful woman married for nearly a decade, came to me not because she believed in Feng Shui, but because she was desperate. She and her husband had been fighting constantly. Small things became wars. Eye contact turned cold. And the only thing that had changed in the house, a single new painting, a portrait of a little girl sitting in the rain with her face turned away. It was placed in the foyer right by the front door. I asked her one question. Why this painting? She said it was a gift from someone she hadn't spoken to in years. It had been passed down, but it felt meaningful, so she kept it. I asked if she'd be open to removing it for 2 weeks, nothing more. She agreed. Within 10 days, she called me crying, not because anything magical had happened, but because nothing else had. No more yelling, no more slammed doors, just quiet. Peaceful, unexplainable quiet. It was the first time in years. Sometimes healing doesn't require renovation, just recognition. Let's go deeper. Beyond emotional artwork, we must address unblessed or misunderstood symbols. These can include religious icons you don't practice, sacred objects you found beautiful but don't understand, or decorative pieces from cultures you're not connected to. Now, this isn't about judgment, it's about energetic clarity, because sacred symbols are powerful, not just aesthetically, but spiritually. And if you bring them into your home without intention, without resonance, they don't harmonize. They disrupt. A Buddha statue in a dusty corner, an Eye of Horus hanging above the stove, a tribal mask from a thrift store displayed for style. These aren't just items, they're energies that deserve respect, placement, and alignment. When we treat sacred objects like decor, we reduce them. And in doing so, we reduce our own ability to receive their protection or blessings. If an item in your home makes you uneasy, even if you can't explain why, listen. If it reminds you of a hard time, a toxic person, or a place you'd rather forget, listen. If it seems to watch you, drain you, or confuse you, listen. These sensations aren't superstitions. They're signals. Your body is wiser than your habits. It notices what your habits have learned to ignore. So what can you do? The answer is simple, but sacred. Choose again. Choose art that opens your heart, not just your wallet. Choose symbols that anchor you in growth, not just style. Choose decor that reflects where you're going, not where you've been stuck. This doesn't mean everything must be happy or bright, but it should be honest, aligned, peaceful, because your home is not a museum, it's a mirror. Let's recap gently but clearly. Haunted or heavy imagery fragments your emotional field. Unblessed symbols invite energy you may not be ready to hold, and your silence about them doesn't erase their impact, it amplifies it. That's why this section was placed first in this video, because nothing else, no lucky charm, no perfect plant, no balanced furniture, can outpower the disturbance of a message you've left hanging on your wall. And if you're still listening, I honor you, because this isn't easy work. It's not aesthetic, it's emotional. And it's brave. To walk around your home and ask what needs to go requires honesty, but it also creates space. Space for peace, space for clarity, space for a new day. And if any part of this feels like it's speaking to you, please don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, share this with a friend you care about, or subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. Our mission is simple but sacred: to help people hear what their homes have been whispering, and to teach them how to answer back, with intention, not fear. Section 2, Inherited or Unknown Talismans. Let's pause for a moment, not to question your ancestors, not to doubt your past, but to honor your present. Because while many people believe that wisdom is handed down through heirlooms, not everything that's passed down is meant to be passed forward, and not everything beautiful belongs in your space. That is especially true with talismans, items that carry energy, symbolism, or spiritual resonance, and yet are often kept without clarity, without choice, and sometimes without knowing the weight they carry. Here's a truth most people don't like to face. What you keep around you keeps its stories around you too. That tiny wooden statue your aunt brought back from a distant temple. The ceramic plate you found at a garage sale that just felt cool. The bracelet left behind by someone who hurt you. Or that oddly ornate coin someone handed you in college and you never threw away. It's these kinds of items that we often ignore, underestimate, or call no big deal. But they are exactly the items that, in Feng Shui, act as energetic anchors. And when you don't know what something was meant for, you also don't know what it's still doing. See, talismans are not just decor, they are energetic contracts. Whether intentional or not, they represent beliefs, fears, hopes, or traumas from their origin point. When something is gifted to you or even bought by you, but its symbolism is unclear, its energetic charge becomes unpredictable. You could be unknowingly displaying a symbol of protection that was meant for burial, or keeping a statue of war in a room meant for healing, or holding on to an amulet meant to ward off one type of energy while simultaneously blocking something beautiful from coming in. Let me share something quietly revealing. I once worked with a woman, an elementary school teacher in Oregon, who had the kindest presence you can imagine. Soft-spoken, generous, always giving. But she'd been through a brutal divorce years earlier and hadn't dated since. When I visited her home, everything felt gentle. Everything except one item, a carved black stone placed near her bed. It was elegant, it was heavy, it was inherited. She told me her grandfather had brought it back from a war, though she didn't know which one. He never spoke about it, but he kept that stone on his desk his entire life. She thought it brought strength. Maybe it had, for him. But for her, it brought nightmares, loneliness, and a subtle tension she could never name. When I suggested moving it, she hesitated. But 3 weeks after relocating the stone to a box in storage, she said something shifted. A man from her past reconnected. They spoke for hours. They met again. I'm not saying the stone blocked love, but I am saying that when you remove what you don't fully understand, space opens for what you do. So let's talk about you. Look around your space. What objects have you inherited, bought secondhand, or kept because of guilt, obligation, or mystery? Don't answer too fast, because many of these items aren't on display shelves. They're in drawers, in closets, in corners of your mind you haven't opened in years. You think they're harmless. Feng Shui would say otherwise. Why? Because they represent unresolved energy. And unresolved energy doesn't just stay quiet, it echoes. The most dangerous talisman is not the obviously dark or cursed. It's the one you feel something odd about, but keep anyway. That's your body talking. That's your intuition whispering, this doesn't belong here anymore. But we silence it. We tell ourselves it's just an object. We think we're being silly or sentimental or wasteful. Meanwhile, your home is still listening to that energy, and it reflects it back to you in ways you may never connect. Creative blocks, frequent colds, money that almost comes and then slips away, friendships that feel close but never quite deepen. Let me be even more direct. You cannot create new peace in a space still echoing old pain. You cannot fully align with abundance while surrounded by items linked to fear, war, scarcity, or confusion. And if you're thinking, but I don't know where it came from, so how can I be sure? That's exactly the point. If you don't know, then the item holds more power than you do. And Feng Shui always centers around one truth. You should be the one directing the energy of your space, not passively receiving it. Now, this doesn't mean you need to throw away everything old. Not all secondhand objects are harmful. Not all heirlooms are burden, but they must be claimed, cleansed, or released. You must either give them intention or give them away. There is no in-between in energetic alignment. So how do you do that? Start simple. Hold the item. Ask yourself, does this reflect who I am now or who I used to be? Does it bring a sense of calm or a whisper of tension? If it belonged to someone else, do I know what it meant to them? Was it worn during illness, held during grief, used during conflict? Don't overthink it, feel it. And if you're not sure what to do with something that feels off, you don't need to panic. You can cleanse it. You can set it under moonlight, burn sage or Palo Santo around it, bathe it in salt water if it's safe, or simply speak over it. Whatever energy you held before, I now release you. You no longer hold weight here. And if, even after cleansing, it still feels heavy, let it go. Donate it, bury it, break it, or return it to the earth. Some things were meant to serve us for a time. That time may have passed. Honor the story, but do not let the story hold your future hostage. Let's bring this full circle with a gentle question. What talismans are you carrying, not in your hands, but in your home, your drawers, your walls, your daily path? And who chose them for you? Was it truly you? Or were they chosen by someone who no longer lives in your skin, your story, your dream? Because here's what I want you to remember. The space you live in is not just a container for your life. It's a collaborator in your destiny. Every object is a vote. Every symbol is a whisper. What is your home voting for right now? And do those votes align with the life you want to build next? At New Day Mindfulness, this is our mission: to help you read the subtle language of space, to guide you not with fear, but with clarity, because we don't believe in superstition. We believe in energy, in alignment, in living with eyes open and choices clear. So if you've ever felt like your home is holding on to something you couldn't name, this might be the moment to let it go. Not as a rejection of the matter, but as a commitment to your present. And if any part of this reflection has helped you see your space differently, I'd be truly honored if you'd support our mission. Leave a comment, share this with a friend who might be holding on to something too tightly, or subscribe so we can continue bringing these mindful messages to homes across the world. We're not chasing trends, we're listening to energy and helping you hear it too. Section 3, broken clocks and objects that no longer work. You pass it every day. Maybe you don't even notice it anymore. The clock that's been stuck at 8:42 for months, the old phone charger that hasn't worked since last winter, the decorative lamp that hasn't lit a room in years. These aren't just neglected objects. They are frozen energy, quiet metaphors, and spiritual statements you didn't even realize you were making. And like all messages in Feng Shui, they speak whether you acknowledge them or not. So let's pause right here. If time has stopped on your wall, ask yourself, what else in your life feels like it's being paused? What ambition still waits for permission? What relationship still circles the same argument? What opportunity feels like it keeps almost arriving, but never quite breaks through? These are not coincidences. These are reflections. Because energy isn't passive, it's participatory. And everything in your home either helps it move forward or holds it in place. In classical Feng Shui, the home is a living organism, and each object inside it functions like a nerve, a breath, or a heartbeat. When you allow broken objects to remain in the places you walk through, eat in, or sleep beside, you create a subconscious agreement that says, this is enough. This stalling is acceptable. This brokenness is now normal. And with time, your spirit begins to mimic that message. Your dreams slow down, your clarity muddies, your luck doesn't vanish, but it no longer finds a clear path to land. Let me tell you a story. A man once came to me, highly capable, deeply intelligent, but burnt out. His business had plateaued. His relationship was stable, but unfulfilling. He said to me, I keep setting goals, but nothing follows through. I asked him to show me his workspace, and right above his desk, there was an antique wooden clock, beautifully carved, non-functioning. I asked, how long has it been stuck? He replied, I don't remember, maybe a year. And there it was, time, ambition, success, all paused above the very spot where he tried to move forward every day. We removed it, replaced it with a flowing water print, and within months the needle shifted. His business regained motion. His tone of voice, his eyes, his posture, all changed. Not because of superstition, but because of energy. Here's the truth that most people forget. Your environment isn't passive. It is co-creating with you. Every broken object becomes an invitation to stay stuck. Every frozen clock becomes a mirror for halted dreams. And the most dangerous part? Most of us don't even notice it's happening. We adapt. We say, I'll fix it later. But in Feng Shui, Later is just another name for resistance. And let's be clear, it's not about perfection. Your house doesn't need to look like a showroom, but it must be energetically honest. If something is broken and you know it, you must choose. Repair it, repurpose it, or release it. Because when you do, you send a message not just to the room, but to yourself. You say, I am ready to move forward. I am done entertaining stagnation. I deserve flow. Some of the most commonly ignored culprits: wall clocks that stopped ticking months ago, microwaves with broken lights, radios that haven't played in years, watches in drawers that no longer work, dead remotes, flickering bathroom lights, frayed cords, ceiling fans that spin but make strange noises, whispers of resistance we've trained ourselves not to hear. And why does this matter? Because these aren't just mechanical glitches. They are energetic disturbances, symbolizing chaos, misalignment, and delay. And while the human mind may dismiss them as trivial, the energetic body does not. Imagine this. You walk into a friend's home and see a stopped clock above their bed. Without them saying a word, your subconscious begins to interpret. Sleep is disturbed, romance is stalled, dreams aren't flowing. You won't articulate it aloud, but the discomfort will live in your breath, your body, your nervous system. This is what happens every day when you live with broken objects. You absorb stagnation without realizing it. And your home, the space meant to recharge you, instead begins to drain you quietly. Now, I want to gently invite you to look around your home, not with judgment, but with awareness. Ask yourself, what here no longer works? What here needs love, repair, or farewell? And don't rush to replace everything. Sometimes it's not about adding more. It's about subtracting the static so that the signal can finally come through. Start with one item, that lamp on your nightstand, that old phone battery you keep just in case, that broken kitchen timer. Let go of what has already let go of you. And if you're still unsure where to begin, walk slowly through the areas of your home you frequent most, your entryway, your bedroom, your workspace. Feel where the energy feels stuck. Listen to your discomfort, that subtle tightness in your chest, that sigh you make when you enter a room. Those are the body's way of saying something here is unresolved. And chances are it's connected to an object that has overstayed its welcome. If this feels like a small thing, I understand. But small things compound. Small things become habits. And in the world of Feng Shui, small energy blocks lead to big life patterns. When you clear them, you don't just clean a room, you open a door, not just to air or light, but to clarity, to movement, to grace. So here's the takeaway. Broken objects are not neutral. They are energetic anchors. And if you want to rise, you must release what no longer moves. Start with one thing today. Just one. And let that one gesture be a signal to the universe that says, I am ready for flow. Because you are. And your home is too. Section 4, dried flowers, dead plants, or withering decor. There is something hauntingly beautiful about a dried flower, a wilted petal, a brittle stem. For many, it represents nostalgia, a preserved memory, a moment frozen in time. But let me invite you to look closer, not at what it once was, but what it now reflects. Because in Feng Shui, what you keep, especially when it no longer thrives, becomes a mirror for your life. And here's where it gets personal. That one bouquet from a birthday long past, that once vibrant centerpiece now dulled and brittle, or the decorative twig arrangement you haven't touched in 5 years. They're not just harmless, they're silent storytellers of emotional residue. If something has no life, it can't offer you any. This is not about aesthetics, it's about energy. And the energy of something that has died yet still lingers is never neutral. It vibrates with endings. It holds space for stagnation. and it invites a certain kind of numbness into your home. I've seen this pattern again and again. A woman once shared with me that her living room always felt a bit heavy. She thought it was the lighting, the layout, the color of the walls. But it wasn't until she cleared a dried eucalyptus bunch given to her by an ex-partner years ago that the room finally started to breathe. She didn't even realize she was holding on to that memory, that emotional footprint. But the moment it left, she felt something shift. Not in the room, but in her. That is the quiet, radical power of release. Most people ignore a single dried bouquet, not realizing it may echo loneliness or loss. Not because they are careless, but because these things are familiar, subtle, sentimental. And yet, that's what makes them potent. They are fragments of used to be, anchoring you in a place your spirit is trying to outgrow. Think about what's happening on a subconscious level. You walk past that dried flower daily. Your nervous system records its stillness, its absence of growth, its unresolved goodbye. You might think it's just decoration, but your body knows. It senses the lack of vitality, the suspended energy, the unspoken goodbye. And over time, that quiet symbolism weaves into your own rhythm. You stop initiating, you delay decisions, you resist expansion. Why? Because the space around you is echoing lifelessness, and your body listens. This goes beyond flowers. It includes dried branches in vases, artificial arrangements layered with dust, and even potpourri long past its scent. Anything that symbolizes once alive, now static, becomes a magnet for stillness in your life. It whispers to the universe, "We're done growing here." And eventually the universe listens. Now let's be clear, there is nothing wrong with honoring memories. But Feng Shui teaches us that reverence must flow, not freeze. A dried flower may have been a gift of love, but if it now vibrates with sorrow, guilt, or clinging, its energy becomes inverted. You don't need to erase the past. You simply need to decide whether the past should have a voice in your present. So what's the remedy? Simple. Replace it with life. Bring in a living plant that breathes. That pushes upward. That reminds your home what it feels like to grow again. Jade is a beautiful choice. Its leaves are full, grounded, and symbolize prosperity. Lavender calms the nervous system while radiating fresh energy. Basil purifies stagnant corners and symbolizes abundance. You don't need to be a gardener. You just need to be intentional. Even a small pot of green herbs on your entryway table can shift the entire current of a room. And if you are someone who travels often or feels uncertain about maintaining real plants, consider vibrant, symbolic objects instead. A small bowl of polished green stones, a water fountain, or artwork that depicts blooming flowers or fresh landscapes. These images still evoke movement, life, and possibility. They don't just fill space, they create it. When your home holds only what is still alive, it gently tells the universe you are too, that you're not stuck in the stories of yesterday, that your energy is moving, and that you are ready to receive what's next. So I'll leave you with this reflection. Walk through your space tonight, not as a decorator, but as an energy keeper. Look at each plant, each floral arrangement, each decor piece it meant to mimic nature, and ask yourself, is this still alive, in spirit? If the answer is no, then neither is the energy it gives you, and that's your signal. Because the spaces we live in don't just hold our furniture, they hold our forward motion, or our resistance to it. If this message stirred something in you today, even gently, I invite you to take action. Remove one dried object, just one. See what opens. And if you believe more people deserve to feel that opening, I'd be honored if you helped us reach our next goal by giving this video a like, sharing it with someone you care about, or subscribing to New Day Mindfulness. We're not here to sell superstition. We're here to remind you of what your home has been trying to say all along. You don't have to hold on to what's already gone. You're allowed to choose life, again and again. Section 5, cracked mirrors, broken glass, or chipped ceramics. There's a quiet moment that happens when you notice a chip in a bowl you've always loved, or a small crack in the mirror you pass each morning. You tell yourself it's minor, harmless, not worth replacing yet. Maybe it even holds a little nostalgia. But in Feng Shui, these tiny fractures do more than interrupt the aesthetics of your space. They distort its entire energy field, because every crack is an energy leak. Every chip is a subtle whisper that something no longer feels whole, and your home absorbs those messages. Let's begin with the mirror. A mirror is not just reflective glass. In Feng Shui, it is a powerful energetic amplifier, one that doesn't merely echo what it sees, but projects that energy outward. A flawless mirror expands light, doubles abundance, and reflects clarity back into a room. But the moment it's cracked, even slightly, it stops reflecting your truth and begins fragmenting perception. If you greet your reflection through broken glass, your subconscious registers disconnection. It doesn't say, "I see myself." It says, "I'm not fully seen." And when this happens daily, especially in intimate areas like bedrooms or entryways, it can subtly erode self-confidence, cloud decision-making, and even create tension in relationships. The same principle applies to chipped bowls, broken cups, or fractured vases. Yes, they may still function. Yes, they may carry sentimental value. But in the world of energy, function is not the same as alignment. A chipped ceramic piece tells the home, we are keeping things that are past their wholeness. Over time, this small tolerance for damage can ripple into other parts of your life. It becomes easier to overlook unhealthy habits, accept partial effort, or tolerate dynamics that no longer feel safe or nurturing. Your space begins to reflect not just who you are, but what you're willing to settle for. One woman I worked with kept a beautifully designed glass teapot, cracked from an accident, but too pretty to toss. She told me it reminded her of the early days of her marriage, when everything felt delicate and hopeful. But as the years went by, she noticed a subtle fatigue every time she touched it. Eventually, she realized it had become a symbol of a chapter she hadn't fully grieved. The hope that had faded. She replaced it with a new one and wept. Not because of the object, but because of the release it represented. When we cling to what is cracked, we sometimes delay the healing we most need. Now, I understand replacing things isn't always practical overnight. That's why intention matters. If you absolutely must keep a cracked or chipped item temporarily, give it acknowledgement. Don't pretend it's fine. Treat it with care until it can be replaced. And if possible, repurpose it. Use that chipped bowl to hold keys by the front door instead of serving food. Or move it to a low-traffic corner where its symbolic energy no longer directly affects your daily rhythm. But let's be honest with ourselves too. How many of us are holding on to broken objects not because they're useful, but because we haven't given ourselves permission to let go? That cracked plate from an ex, the shattered vase you swore you'd glue but never did, the mirror with a fracture that splits your image into two. It's not about the thing. It's about the signal. And Feng Shui teaches us to read the signals before they become patterns in our life. Especially around entrances and bedrooms, these fractured pieces are most harmful. Your front door is the mouth of Qi, the first point where universal energy meets your personal world. A cracked mirror nearby doesn't just distort light, it distorts the energy you invite in. Similarly, your bedroom is where your body repairs, your heart opens, and your spirit rests. If broken or chipped items live there, you're asking your energy to heal in an environment that holds fracture instead of cohesion. So what's the remedy? Begin with awareness. Walk through your space and notice without judgment What has been kept long after it broke? And then ask, does this still reflect who I am becoming? If the answer is no, then it's time. Replace it with something whole, something that reflects your wholeness. Or if the object is sacred, create a new use for it that honors both its past and your future. The act of removing broken items isn't shallow. It's sacred. It tells the universe, I am making space for what supports me, not what reminds me of what's broken. It clears the pathway for new energy to enter, energy that doesn't echo scarcity, but abundance. That doesn't replicate distortion, but clarity. And if this message stirred something in you today, I want to invite you into something simple but powerful. Choose one broken or cracked item in your space today and part with it. Replace it with something whole, something chosen, something intentional, and feel what shifts, not just in the room, but in you. Because in Feng Shui, your home is never passive. It's always in dialogue with your choices. And what you choose to keep tells it what to keep amplifying. If you found this perspective helpful or eye-opening, please consider sharing this video with someone who might need it. And I'd be honored if you hit like, dropped a comment about what you're releasing, or subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. We're growing toward 5,000 subscribers with one mission: to help more people live in spaces that speak peace, not pain. And your support helps us echo that mission further. Section 6. Items from past relationships or deceased loved ones. Let's pause here because this one might strike deeper than most. There are objects in your home right now that you don't see every day, but they still speak to you. Sometimes it's a necklace tucked in a drawer, a photo in a frame that's always slightly turned away, or something as simple as a shirt folded at the back of a closet that hasn't been worn in years. But what if I told you that these quiet relics are not just sentimental, they're energetic anchors? Let's be clear, letting go of a memory doesn't mean letting go of love. It means making space for life. And in Feng Shui, space is everything. You cannot receive new energy when old vibrations still dominate your home's emotional field. The items we're talking about today often come from a place of love, yes, but also from grief, longing, guilt, or unresolved emotion. And when they linger, they pull you back into yesterday, even as your heart tries to move forward. This is one of the hardest categories for anyone to confront. We don't keep a shirt or a ring or a perfume bottle because we're unaware. It's because we care. But here's where energy doesn't negotiate. Your space holds the story you keep repeating. If that story is loss, your space repeats loss. If it's longing, your space amplifies longing. This is not about forgetting someone who mattered it. This is about choosing how their legacy lives in your life now. Let me share a story. A woman I worked with, quiet, strong, incredibly generous, had kept her late mother's wooden comb beside her bed for 5 years. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't even in use. But every morning she'd wake, see it, and remember the woman she missed. At first, she found comfort in it, but over time, she realized something had shifted. She wasn't sleeping well. She often cried without knowing why. Her mornings began with heaviness. When we talked about releasing the comb, she resisted. It's the last thing she touched, she said. But after a long conversation, she wrapped the comb in silk, held it with intention, and let it go, thanking it for what it gave, and trusting that her connection didn't live in the object. The next week, she slept through the night. For the first time in months, she woke up without tears. That wasn't magic. That was energetic permission. You see, our spaces listen, and when we surround ourselves with items from past relationships, romantic or familial, we invite in the vibration of what was. That can be beautiful or it can be burdensome. Old love letters tucked in drawers, gifts from ex-partners, jewelry from someone who left without closure. These are not just things. They are emotional echoes. They say, I am still here even when life is trying to whisper, it's time to move on. And it's not just about lovers or lost relatives. It's also about items we inherited without asking. Furniture from a home that no longer exists. Antiques that carry stories we don't fully understand. Photo albums that make us feel like we're still holding someone else's sorrow. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for them is to release it. Let the energy rise instead of linger. Now, if you're wondering what to do with these items, I'm not here to tell you to burn everything or throw it into the trash. Feng Shui is not about fear, it's about intention. If an object brings warmth, comfort, and peaceful remembrance, then it belongs. But if it tightens your chest when you pass by or makes you pause with a sen, then it might be time to shift its presence. You can create a ritual, light a candle, say a word of gratitude, and offer the item a gentle goodbye. Or, if it's too soon to part with it completely, you can store it in a respectful, closed container. The key is not whether you keep it. The key is whether it keeps you. And let's address something delicate. Many people confuse this process with dishonoring their loved ones. But Feng Shui teaches us that the greatest honor is to live fully, to keep your space alive with the energy of what you want to create, not just what you've lost. You can still love someone and let go of their sweater. You can still miss them and release the photo. You can still hold them in your heart without holding their belongings in your home. For those holding on to tokens from past relationships, whether it's a wedding photo in a drawer, a scarf they left behind, or a playlist you can't delete, it's important to know that you're not alone. Everyone has something like this, but not everyone is brave enough to confront it. By simply asking the question, is this helping me grow or keeping me in place? You're already starting to shift. So that's the power of mindful awareness. Let's say you're not ready. That's okay. Feng Shui doesn't demand, it invites. But if something in this section stirred you, if your chest tightened or a face came to mind, don't ignore it. That's your space speaking to you, and when you listen, you start to heal. So let me ask you gently, what are you still keeping that belongs to a version of you that no longer exists? What object reminds you more of grief than of joy? What memory, however meaningful, has become a weight instead of a light? You don't have to answer right now, but don't forget to ask. Because energy, like emotion, cannot be forced. It must be invited, respected, and redirected when necessary. And when you do that, when you release what no longer supports your journey, your home becomes a co-pilot, not a cage. At New Day Mindfulness, our mission is to help you hear your space more clearly, to help you live lighter, love deeper, and align your outer world with your inner truth. If this part of the video resonated with you, if it brought someone or something to mind, please consider sharing this with a friend who might need it too. Leave a comment below or subscribe to our channel. Every like and follow helps us bring this work into more homes that are quietly waiting to shift. You don't have to do it all today, but you can begin with just one object, one choice, one breath of release. Section 7. Unprotected sharp objects, knives, blades, or tools. It often begins innocently. A sleek kitchen knife left on the countertop after dinner. A utility blade resting in the garage with no sheath, or perhaps a decorative dagger mounted on the wall, admired more for its craftsmanship than questioned for its symbolism. At first glance, none of these feel like mistakes. After all, they're common, even beautiful in some cases. But in Feng Shui, beauty is never the only metric. Energy is. And sharp objects, especially those exposed and unprotected, speak a language that few homeowners realize they have let into their living space. You see, sharp tools vibrate with tension. By their very design, they pierce, divide, cut. This isn't metaphor, it's their energetic truth. When you leave a blade uncovered in a high traffic area, you're not just exposing metal, You're allowing the essence of separation, conflict, and microaggression to permeate your home's atmosphere. And the result? Subtle arguments that arise for no reason. A mood that shifts the moment someone enters the room. Children who snap at each other more often. Partners who feel strangely on edge. These aren't just behavioral patterns, they're environmental echoes. You didn't mean to create them, but they were invited all the same. Let me ask you gently, what is visibly cutting into the stillness of your space? Because it's rarely the large weapons we need to worry about. It's the small, everyday items we overlook. A pair of uncovered scissors in the study, a gardening blade leaning against the wall near the front door, even a collection of open knives on a magnetic strip in a modern kitchen. In terms of design, these setups feel efficient, even elegant. But in terms of qi, they slice through the energetic current of your home like a leak in a pipe, constant, draining, and invisible until it's too late. The most common mistake I see, even in well-designed homes, is the presence of decorative weaponry. Wealthy households, luxury condos, or heritage homes often display swords, daggers, or spears as status symbols. They look powerful, but power without protection becomes intimidation. And in Feng Shui, anything that points, cuts, or jabs, especially when displayed without grounding elements, accumulates sha qi. That's attacking energy. And if it's aimed toward a bed, a desk, or the entrance of a room, the energetic consequences ripple outward. Sleep disturbances, concentration issues, financial tension, chronic stress. These patterns don't arise in isolation. They're often fed by what surrounds us. One client of mine had a beautiful wall-mounted saber collection above his fireplace. He was proud of it. Each piece told a story. But what he didn't realize was that the placement of those blades, all unsheathed and angled downward, directly faced the seating area. The living room, meant to be a space of warmth and conversation, felt cold, hostile, and restless. Guests didn't stay long. Arguments sparked during game nights. His wife often preferred to retreat to the bedroom rather than sit there with him. It wasn't until we softened the space, covering the blades, grounding the wall with calming tones, and adding a rounded jade plant on the mantle, that the energy shifted. Sometimes it's not about what you remove, but how you transform the message it's sending. So what's the remedy here? It starts with acknowledgement. Look around your home, walk slowly, ask yourself, is there anything here that was designed to cut, but now rests here uncovered, visible, and energetically active? If the answer is yes, consider the following. First, store sharp items in drawers, cabinets, or covered containers. Tools should have sheaths. Knives should be stored safely, ideally in wooden blocks or drawer inserts, not exposed on magnetic walls unless you've softened the surrounding area. Blades in the garage or workshop should be properly wrapped or hung with intention, not abandoned like afterthoughts. Next, if you must display something sharp, balance it. This is where the art of Feng Shui truly lives, not in denying the presence of form, but in harmonizing its energy. A display of antique swords can be neutralized with round elements, a large circular mirror, soft lighting, live plants with rounded leaves, or even water features nearby. Sound bowls, when placed below a mounted weapon, can also help disperse harsh vibrations. Remember, sharpness isn't inherently negative. It's the unprotected presence of it that generates imbalance. There's also something subtle at play here: emotional memory. Many sharp tools carry stories. A knife passed down from your grandfather, a machete from a hiking trip, a ceremonial blade gifted at a rite of passage. These stories are meaningful, but they can also anchor conflict, fear, or unfinished emotional patterns. If you sense unrest every time you glance at one of these items, if your breath shortens or your body tenses, you're not imagining it. Energy imprints. Memory lives in matter. And unless you clear or reposition that object, its story continues to vibrate in your space. Let me give you another real-world example. A woman I worked with kept a letter opener on her desk, a beautiful antique from her late father. She used it daily, but she also found herself increasingly impatient with her work, frustrated at her job, and disconnected from the joy of creating. When we looked deeper, it became clear that this object, though functional, was laced with unspoken grief and pressure. She hadn't processed her father's passing, and every time she reached for the opener, it unconsciously triggered that tension. We replaced it with a new letter opener, one she chose intentionally that reflected her current self. And slowly her relationship with her work began to soften. Sometimes it's not about discarding, but about choosing again from a new place. And if you're someone who practices mindfulness, meditation, or prayer, here's an important tip. Keep sharp tools away from your sacred spaces. These areas thrive on coherence, stillness, and presence. Unprotected blades or tools nearby can fracture that harmony. If they must be near, surround them with grounding elements, stones, fabric, or symbols of unity. Now let's address the most subtle version of this mistake: symbolic sharpness. Even items that aren't literal blades, like angular furniture, triangular decor, or pointed art, can echo the same effect if overused. It's not about removing every angle in your home. It's about balance. If sharpness dominates a room, the energy becomes defensive. If it's softened with curves, warmth, and texture, it becomes purposeful. So don't fear design, just guide it. By now, you might be starting to see the bigger picture. Sharp objects in the home aren't just tools, they're symbols of control, of separation, of urgency. And when left exposed without intention, they cut more than air. They cut flow, they cut peace, they cut connection. So here's your invitation. Take 1 hour this week, walk through your home. Notice what's sharp, exposed, or resting without care. Protect it, ground it, reconsider it, and in doing so, you begin to soften not just your space, but your own experience inside of it. Because Feng Shui isn't about fear, it's about consciousness. And every object, when honored, becomes a doorway, not a block. At New Day Mindfulness, we believe that your home isn't just where you live, it's what you live through. Every blade you cover, every tension you soften is a step toward harmony that ripples through your relationships, your thoughts, your rest. So if this section stirred something in you, if you recognize an object in your own home or a pattern that suddenly made sense, I'd be deeply honored if you left a comment, shared this video, or subscribed. We're on a mission to reach 5,000 homes, and yours might be the one that inspires another to shift. You're not just transforming a space, you're shifting the story your home tells about you. And that's where true change begins. Final. Alignment isn't complicated, it's conscious. Sometimes the biggest energy shift doesn't begin with renovation. It begins with recognition. Because what blocks your flow isn't always a wall. It's often the forgotten item in your hallway, the chipped vase you no longer notice, or the photo frame that still carries a story you have outgrown. When we walk through these 7 categories of unseen energetic drains, we weren't just reviewing objects. We were decoding the silent conversations your home is already having with your life. Think about it. How many of these have quietly taken up space in your home without ever being questioned? A haunted piece of art with eyes that feel too alive. A hand-me-down charm whose story you never learned. A clock that froze 3 months ago, yet still hangs in the living room like time itself has given up. A dried bouquet from an anniversary long past, now brittle with dust. Or a cracked mug that you keep using, even though it cuts your lip every few days. These are the details most people ignore. Not out of laziness, but out of habit. We all have emotional blind spots, and your home reveals them before your mind does. So here's the truth. The smallest object can block the biggest breakthrough. It's not dramatic, it's quiet, but it's real. A stopped clock might mirror your stalled ambition. A mirror with a hairline crack might be echoing a fracture in your self-perception. A sharp blade left in view may be stirring subtle tension in your relationships. These are not metaphors. They are energetic fingerprints. And when you learn to read them, you begin to shape a new atmosphere for your future. Because what you allow into your environment becomes what you unconsciously accept in your life. Tolerate clutter, and you'll tolerate overwhelm. Keep items from a painful past, and your energy will subtly anchor to it. Surround yourself with brokenness, and don't be surprised when clarity becomes hard to hold on to. The good news? Energy is never fixed, and your space, once noticed, can be gently and powerfully realigned. So now I ask you, what in your home still belongs to an old version of you? What decor, gift, relic, or forgotten token is still anchoring a mindset or emotion you have long outgrown? What's weighing down your entrance, whispering through your hallway, or echoing from your bedroom walls without your permission? This isn't about guilt, it's about awakening. And from this moment forward, you have the choice to become intentional. At New Day Mindfulness, our mission is rooted in simplicity, not superstition. We believe your home should support your growth, not resist it. It should reflect where you're headed, not where you've been stuck. Every item you shift, remove, or realign is a signal to the universe and to your own psyche that you're ready for something more grounded, more peaceful, more alive. That's what alignment really is. Not complication, but consciousness. So if this video helped clarify what's been weighing down your space, even just one object, one story, one habit, I invite you to leave a comment, share your reflection, or hit subscribe. Help us reach 5,000 homes aligned in clarity and calm. Every action you take sends ripples far beyond your doorstep. Your home is the beginning of every intention you'll ever carry. Let's make it sacred again. And if this video has inspired you, I warmly invite you to share it with someone who might need it. Leave a comment about what you're shifting, what you're noticing, or what you've just let go of. And please subscribe to New Day Mindfulness to help us reach 5,000 mindful homes and bring even more clarity, insight, and peace into the everyday spaces we live and breathe in together. Thank you for walking this path with me. I'll see you in the next video with open energy and open doors.